Okay, third time's a charm. Okay, it's Saturday again. It's about 10 o'clock. I just realized that I unplugged my husband's alarm clock in order to plug in my cell phone. That's okay. I'll have to fix that, Peter. Okay. I have a whole checklist of things I wanted to talk about today. The first thing I have to mention is that Arlington High School, where I work, is hiring 2 classroom counselors and a special educator position. Those positions are open for the 24-25 school year. It's a pretty good place to work. If you don't know what Arlington is, it is an alternative, independent, therapeutic school for kids who need a little bit extra support. And I don't know, it's a fun place to work. I love my boss. I love my coworkers. I love my students. And you get paid summers off, so that's nice. And I'll put a link to that application down below if you are interested or if you know somebody that's interested. Definitely never a dull moment and a pretty rewarding job. The other thing I want to talk to you about, the baby chickens. The chickens are sort of like, they're big. They're big now. I feel like they're like adolescents maybe. It's like, and it's funny because I was thinking like how human beings go through like this awkward pre-teen phase. I feel like that's sort of the phase they're in, but it's like the chicken version. So they're big and their feathers are sort of half fluffy, half regular. And their necks are all long and kind of lanky. And I did start giving them fruit, scraps and stuff from work and from here, and they like that pretty good. But definitely we're on spring break now, so I'm gonna have to get started on their coop because they're definitely gonna need some outdoors time. And it's funny because they're growing up with George, and I feel like I'm really happy that George is at 9 months and it is spring, because I feel like if he was 9 months and we were going into winter, I wouldn't know what to do because he is into everything and he just needs space, I feel like, to crawl around and explore things, and keeping him contained or content right now is super challenging. So so that'll be nice. In like a month or so we'll all be out. Chickens will be outside, George will be outside. It'll be nice. And then the other thing is I ordered dahlias. I didn't know I ordered dahlias. This happens to me a lot. I like shopping, especially late at night, especially for gardening stuff. And I forget. And I like to order things way ahead of time because a lot of the stuff that I like sells out very fast. So the other day, my husband put this on my lap, and I was like, oh, those look like dahlias. And I had already started a bunch of dahlias from seed, thinking that I hadn't ordered tubers, but I had ordered tubers. So I'm going to go down the list of what I ordered, and I ordered from Swan Island, and I'll put a link to their website in the description also. And I'll just go through the list of what I ordered. And then I'm going to try to put, let me move the camera a little bit. So I'll try to put a picture over here of each one that I ordered. So, the first one is Apple Blossom, Barefoot, Beautiful, Daddy's Girl, Flamingo, Lights Out, Mount Hood, Oh Honey, with an exclamation point. And then the one, I did skip over one because I've had this one before. When I first bought it, it's called Gabby's Wish. When I first got it, it was really expensive. I think it was like 30 bucks or something, but it was one of the best plants I had in the garden. I got a ton of flowers from it, so I just want to put like some pictures of the bouquets I did with that one on the side. But I should have been able to save some of those tubers and then replant them, but I didn't, but I had to order it again. So this will be my second time ordering that one. It's really nice. And then because I spent over $50, they're giving me a free gift. And the one that they chose was, or I chose, I can't remember if I chose it or they chose it, but it's called Peach Fuzz, which is something my grandpa used to say all the time. So that's nice. And then they send you, when you get your tubers, they send you a growing guide, which is helpful. And then they also send you the tags, so when you plant them, you don't have to make your own labels. They'll send you these little labels. And then they come in a bag of dirt, like this. Like this one has 9. I think there's 2 bags in here. And then when you open the bag, this is what your tuber looks like. I'm going to try to make sure I look at the camera. I'm really bad at that. And then this is what your tuber looks like. And you want to plant it like this. And the eye, like I'm going to try to guess where the eye is. That looks like an eye to me. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to try to put it. There's like a little circle type thing that's kind of coming out. You want to plant it eye facing up. And the nice thing about these is if you get this box in the mail and you forget that you have it and they're in this dirt, they'll start growing in the box. Not, you know, don't wait too long, but if they start, then you'll be able to really see the eye because the foliage will start coming out of it, and then you'll know for sure where the eye is. And then you'll be able to plant it correctly, which is eye face up. And then this part you want just under the surface of the soil, and this part you want exposed. And then each tuber is stamped with the name. See, beautiful. And then the other thing about dahlias is you can plant one of these in the spring. They range in price from about $8 to like $50, depending on the variety you want. You can get them, I've seen them at grocery stores and hardware stores, box stores. I'm pretty sure you can get them at Costco, but I like Swan Island. They have, I forget how many varieties, 650. I want to say they have 650 dahlia varieties. Some of the ones that I ordered are sold out now. Not all of them. I would say about half are sold out. But I do like ordering from them. But basically, also, if you plant this in the spring and then you dig them up in the fall, you want to start digging way out, you know, far away from the tuber, because this will make more tubers throughout the summer. And then you can either store the whole clump the way it is and just replant the whole clump in the following spring, or you can divide it and get a bunch of plants from one tuber the following spring. The only thing you have to do is keep them at the exact right temperature over the course of the winter and make sure they don't mold. I've tried a few different things. A lot of people wrap them in plastic wrap, and I did that, and I put them in the fridge and they molded. Then I tried putting them in wood shavings, like the kind that you use in like the chicken thing, and they dehydrated them and they shriveled up into like little prunes, so you don't want that either. The best thing I did was put them in a mix like this, in like a coconut coir or like Pro Mix. I put them in Pro Mix, and then I put them in a paper bag and in a mini refrigerator in the basement, and they came out perfect. After that winter, I think the paper bag absorbs the excess moisture, so there was a nice balance there, and they came out perfectly when I did that. And you're also sort of replicating what they would do in like a warmer climate, right? If like in the southern climates, like zones 9 and 10, you can leave these in the ground all winter and they'll come back. But since we're way up here in zone 4, I have to bring them indoors so they don't freeze and rot. So that worked out. And then, so those are my dahlias, and I'll put a link, I think I already said this, but I'll put a link to the Swan Island website in the description. And then, okay. Oh, and the other thing I want to talk about real quick before I get into how the seedlings and plants are doing is no mow May. So this right now is we're getting towards the end of April, and a lot of pollinators are coming out right now looking for food, and there's not a lot of food out there. I haven't seen any dandelions yet, but I have seen, we have the crocuses, and then we have these flowers called Glory of the Snow, which makes sense because I've seen them with snow. I've seen them come up with snow on them. And then, so you want to, no mow May is like supposed to help the pollinators by leaving those first foods that they go to when they come sort of out of hibernation. It leaves them alone so that they have access. And one of those, I mean, there is some sort of like controversy about no mow May, because when I was taking the master gardener class, it was like people were kind of split in half. They were like, oh, no mow May is great. And some people were like, well, it's, if you mow in June, it's still, you know, you're still doing the same amount of damage. But I think if you have to mow, if you like a lawn, if you have a lawn, then just do no mow May and just wait until Memorial Day weekend or June 1st before you mow your lawn. You'll be fine. And then one of the weeds that is actually super beneficial that appears in lawns here a lot before people mow are the common blue violets, and those are a host plant for the great, I think there's 14 great fritillary butterfly species and then 16 lesser species of fritillaries that depend on those blue violets as their host plant, which means they lay their eggs on those plants so that the larvae can feed on those plants and then become more butterflies. And then there is this bee also called andrena viola, which is a specialist pollinator that also uses that common blue violet. And I was on a website, I can't remember what it was called, Vermont Conservancy something, and that website said that they have only seen the andrena viola. It's a mining bee, so it's also known as the violet miner, and they've only seen it in Windsor County, even though blue violets are pretty much everywhere. So it was discovered in Windsor County in like 2020, so just recently, and it's pretty distinctive because it has like a bigger mouth parts. I forget what the name, I might have written it down. Did I write it down? No, it has like I don't want to say nose. I think it's I can't think of it, but nose. We'll just call it a nose. It's not a nose, but we'll call it that. But that structure on its face is much longer than any other bees, and I'll put an image of like a honeybee, and then what a violet miner bee looks like. And actually, a lot of people praise honeybees because they do a lot of good pollinating. They're good pollinators. That's sort of like the one that people think of when people think about pollinators. They think about honeybees, but mining bees actually take up more of the population of miners. And beetles, like beetles are good pollinators. The other thing that people don't really think about for pollinators is hoverflies. Wasps qualify as pollinators. And beetles, I didn't think, and ants. They are like, they're, you know, not very much, but they're on there on the list of pollinators. So it's pretty interesting. And I think there's 350 bee species in Vermont, but, yeah, but the violet miner will only pollinate violets or use violets, I guess. So keep that in mind. Before you mow your lawn, or if you see violets, maybe leave a little patch of them if you can. They're really pretty. They're also edible, and you can. A lot of people will pick them and like freeze them in ice cubes for like baby showers and stuff, or you can put them on like a focaccia bread. So very versatile, the violets. And I think that's everything that I have for now. and I am going to film. It's raining outside today. I wanted to get the plants outside so that I could film the seedling and plant update while they were outside, but it's kind of yucky out. So maybe I'll film that tomorrow and then put the two together. But that's it. So come work with me at Arlington and my friends. It's super fun. And if I think of anything else, I'll let you know. Okay, bye.